Welcome back to Earth Station Trek, a show where we trek from the early days on ABC to the future on Paramount Plus and everywhere in between. I'm Charles Kelso, and it's my privilege to introduce the Earth Station Trek crew. Alan Seiler.
Charles, if one of our intellects could bestow immunity, I am confident it would not be yours.
And Veronica Dashel.
Hi.
And welcome back. To
Yay!
a special day, special time.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Special broadcast of Earth Station Trek.
Indeed.
Talking about Wedding Bell Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the record, I have immense respect for all of my co-hosts and their intellects.
I'm glad that we spaced these out because it's a pretty big tonal shift from episode 1 to episode 2.
This would have been hard to talk about in one episode with only half an hour to give to each one of them.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, there's so much in both of these.
Yeah. I mean, somebody want to jump out with a... Oh, actually, we've got a comment already.
Mark says, oops, hang on. Here comes the bride. That's
yeah,
right.
so when I originally saw this, I was thinking it was going to be Pike and Patel when I saw the title originally.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because that made more sense than a weirdly Trelane.
Well, hang on. We didn't do a spoiler warning.
Sorry.
We haven't done one of those in a long time.
I know.
We didn't do it. Yeah, we didn't do it for the first episode.
Spoilers.
There you go. Okay, now go ahead.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be a weird daydream illusion version of Spock and Chapel, but it was fun. I really enjoyed La'an and her dancing and showing her softer side and whatnot.
Yep.
And her reaction to having refaced the Gorn and survived again.
Yeah, I enjoyed all that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It brought me back to the Dr. Crusher days.
Yeah, and La'an has really loosened up over the last 22 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
From where she started.
Totally. Let me get this comment from Matt Sweatman really quickly. Now we know why Spock and Chapel were in bed together in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I love trailers. I love how they completely throw you for a loop and give you something that you think you know what it means, and then it turns out to be something completely opposite.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and admittedly, rom-com Spock is not my favorite Spock.
No.
He actually reminded me a lot of Odo in this episode because you get rom-com Odo from time to time, and rom-com Odo is also not my favorite Odo. I don't hate either.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me when Odo was sort of outside the room while Kira and Bareil were in there, and or was it Shakar, whichever one it was,
whoever.
Yeah, it had that kind of vibe to him in this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Elaine says, seriously, if the discussion is about the latest episode, I would think spoilers are a given. Well, you want to be careful, and sometimes people don't think like that. Anyway,
people also listen to our show and don't watch the episodes
right
from time to time. So
that's true. Wayne says, hello, everyone. I have to admit, when the title of the episode is an old Fifth Dimension song, I was a little wary. That's hilarious. I didn't think about that.
Right.
And Elaine says, I will say, dang it. Now they're all coming in at the same time. Elaine says, I will say I was not expecting to see Spock shirtless as much as we did.
Yeah. Also, Farmer Stan.
Oh, right.
Okay.
And Matt says, I'm enjoying La'an's character arc from a jaded character hardened by her experiences with the Gorn and bearing the burden of her ancestry to being a more balanced individual. Yeah, that's a great point.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but she was wearing a scant in this episode. I've never seen her wear a scant.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, she was wearing a scant when she welcomed Chapel and Corby.
Probably because she could just throw it on over her workout outfit, because she was wearing it all black in the gym, and then very quickly she was up there in the transporter room.
True.
Mark says, all joking aside, I think the creators of this episode need to go to their rooms and really think about what they have done. I don't want them to do that, because then they may think of more of it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what do we think of this episode?
It was fun.
Okay, Alan.
It was fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a fun episode. This isn't my favorite. I mean, I don't know. I always kind of enjoy the hijinxy episodes they do, even though, like I said, I don't rom-com Spock is not my favorite Spock. But yeah, it was fun, and it's kind of fun that they do silly episodes. And this was
Yeah. And I like, I mean, if I had seen the first episode and then waited a week and then seen this one, I might have felt like it's too early for hijinks.
Yeah.
But pairing them up on the same night release, I think they balance each other really well, and they give a great like counterpart to each other.
Sure.
So I think it worked much better the way that they did it.
Okay. Well, do we want to talk some of the character stuff first, or
yeah,
I don't know. These episodes, I want to approach them on their own merits and not just talk about all the continuity stuff. But then they're like, and then Roger, Corby, Trelane, and Q walk in, and so it becomes a little hard to talk about them on their own merits when they are mining so hard from the Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so something new. I really enjoyed their casual spacey outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them looked very spacey, especially Uhura's little like mini skirt that was a little too long on one side and was really short and angled in the back, and I thought it was really cute. And a lot of them had pretty good, for the most part, spacey looking costumes. Even Sam Kirk's little thing with his zipper, at least the zipper kind of looked spacey with the little circle thing, and it had the little spacey floof. And it's not really a floof, but flop. I don't know what you call
it.
Yeah.
Charles, do you want to make the comment that you made on your Facebook post?
Yeah, I said this episode might have the single best collection of costumes from any Star Trek episode ever. And go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. And the variety of the costuming, but also they look, and I always complain when there's zippers and pockets, but for the most part, they look appropriate for the 23rd century. I mean, like Mbenga's outfit looked like Flint. But they're they're looking at classic Star Trek costuming and making it for HD in greater detail. And I think they're doing a fantastic job. I think Mbenga's costume is one of the best looking single costumes I've seen on Star Trek. But even all the different aliens that were there, and Scotty had his tartan and kilt, and I mean, I think everyone looked fantastic, particularly at that wedding.
Yeah. I really loved some of the like 3D printed like top pieces that several of the ladies had. Those were really cool looking. Those made it could have been like a regular dress and just set that on top of it and makes it look spacey.
I don't use the word opulent very often, like pretty much never, but that is the best description for this episode. The costuming on this episode was spectacular.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't always notice the costuming necessarily, but this was so stand out. This was so beautifully done, and every look was completely different, and every look kind of reflected the person that's wearing it. I just thought it was incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we're going to call him. Are we going to call him Trelane?
Okay, so I have a theory.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Okay. I talked with Chuck because I had no memory of the Squire of Gothos. So we watched it right after we watched this together.
Okay.
All the way through, finally. Someone kept falling asleep. But my thought was, this is Trelane after, in Trelane's timeline, this is after he's seen Kirk and Spock in the future for our perspective, because he came back to mess with Spock.
Okay.
Because he did not care for Spock. So he came back specifically to mess with Spock.
That makes sense. I was just going to say that his costume was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't going to get into who he is yet, but I was just going to say that they dressed him incredibly well.
I really liked the part where you saw who he was portraying in the reflection of whatever he was near. So you got the cue that, this is not what they're actually seeing.
Yes. Yeah. And I didn't pick up on that the first time. I kept thinking, why are they calling him an Andorian and a Vulcan and stuff? I was like, I don't get it. But then I figured out, okay, well, but I never saw the reflection. I just kind of figured out, okay, he's like projecting something that they are seeing that the camera, us, is not seeing.
Yeah, and the Andorian they had in the reflection was the most classic looking Andorian I think we've seen in the current era of Star Trek.
Yeah.
I love the classic Andorian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought everything about this episode, down to the wedding flowers and the little cakes, everything just looked incredible.
Yeah.
And I think we got our first look at the new set that was built for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lab.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard an interview, or I don't remember if I heard it or if I read it, but TrekMovie.com did an interview with Akiva Goldsman. I'm sorry. And he was saying that the trouble with the engineering set is even though it's on the AR wall, it takes like 3 days to set up the physical portion of that set.
Sure.
So they needed somewhere to do sciencey things that they can keep standing or set up more quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's fine. I mean, in Discovery, we saw them use Stamets Lab as engineering for the entire run of the show. And in Voyager, you had Astrometrics was added along the way. So 7 and 9 had her little area. So I think that's fine. And it's a good looking set. And then in that same interview, they kept hinting that we would see like cetacean ops type, like cetaceans.
Okay.
Floating around.
Really? Because I'm all about some whales on my ship.
Because there is some more like moving water under the floor.
Yes, there is.
So
yeah, I'm excited. Cetacean ops. Let's do it. Okay, let's get some comments. How about that? Elaine says she enjoyed it and it was fun. She also says, I also loved the interactions between Ortegas, Beto, and Uhura.
Okay.
I want to talk about Beto in a minute.
Okay.
That's going to be a big thing for me. And the relationship between he and Uhura. I'm excited about that.
Right.
Matt says, having trouble reconciling this version of Corby with what we saw in What Are Little Girls Made Of? But that's par for the course for Strange New Worlds. It's just the accent, isn't it, Matt? I'm kidding. I know it's more than that.
I agree. This is the whole show. I have trouble reconciling with the original series, but go ahead.
Marcus questioning the green wedding dress.
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, as a dress,
My
I
dress
loved
was
it. But
purple.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Wow.
okay, it had white and purple, but it was a lot purple.
It wasn't nearly as Lady Gaga is what.
That's true. That is true. Definitely not Lady Gaga.
Elaine says, oh, the regular everyday wear was good. And then all of the wedding guests were dressed to the nines.
Oh, yes.
Mark says, introducing Trelane now makes Spock look foolish in the Squire of Gothos episode. How does he not recognize what's going on? Isn't that exactly the same comment that Mark made last week about the Gorn or something like that? Or was it 2 weeks ago? So about the people looking foolish.
Well, they never actually saw Trelane.
True.
Right. They kept seeing other things.
They kept seeing other things. And they did see the little interaction with the dad and the space alien. But how many like weird things like that does the Enterprise go through that Spock and Uhura are going to remember this specific one? Scotty, I guess, as well.
Sure.
Right.
But, I mean, they introduced so many things in Strange New Worlds that didn't exist yet. Or were introduced in the original series or after that they would look foolish in Day of the Dove by not being able to, by making it a big deal that they're beaming inside the ship because they do that all the time on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
So
hey, beam this trunk over.
Yeah. So if you try to take both of them as literal canon, then yes, they look foolish a lot. They look foolish for being surprised about the cloaking device and Balance of Terror because those have been around for 100 years.
Yeah.
So but to be fair to Mark, though, you can make that comment every week about something on Strange New Worlds.
That's true. And that's true. And I wasn't calling him out. I was just saying that it's a pattern for this show.
Absolutely.
And, that's the pitfall you get into when you're doing a prequel.
Yep.
You want to do your own thing, but you also want it to mesh up with what we've already seen that hasn't happened yet in their timeline. And you can't have both.
Right.
And you just have to make a choice. And they have made their choices.
Right.
So, Elaine says, spoilers, Trelane's jacket got a massive upgrade.
Mm-hmm. And
okay, people are chatty tonight.
Yeah, they are.
She says his jacket was definitely not a studio wardrobe piece that will be borrowed by the monkeys.
I totally think they should take that jacket and give it to Mickey Dolenz to wear to concert.
Okay.
I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Not going to happen, but it would be hilarious.
Matt says, now I'm waiting for a reboot of the monkeys there we go, to reuse the Trelane costume. There you go.
I mean, they could use it. They could do something with the new monkeys.
They must be in different rooms because I know that they are on their own separate computers, and they watch our show from different places because she watches it on my Facebook feed and he watches it. So they might be in different rooms. They might not have known that they were both going to make that comment, but that's hilarious. Before we went live, I was telling Chuck, it'll be interesting to see if we have somebody who watches tonight that doesn't normally watch us on Thursday night because it's on off night, and we might get a new viewer. And look, Wanda M, I'm going to say Wanda Maximoff. I don't know. This was just a fun, rewatchable episode for this Trekkie, and the outfits were gorgeous. Rhys Darby was hilarious.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get into
fantastic.
that too, but I will say that Rhys Darby, I thought, was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he did was absolutely perfect. Wayne says, I know I may sound like a Gump. Forrest Gump? I don't know. But trouncing the continuity once again really chapped my hide.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing in the Keith angle. Somebody has to. And Wanda wraps it up by saying, I think Spock doesn't recognize Trelane in the future because he saw him as a Vulcan in this episode. Exactly.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us, Wanda. It's great to have a new face.
Nice to have you.
Yep, and typically we go live on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern for anyone who's watching us on Monday for the first time. Yeah, so do we want to start getting into the Trelane of it all, or do we want to hold
the
that
Trelane of it all?
Yeah.
hold that
so.
and talk more about the specifics about the characters that are going on in this episode?
Seems like Trelane is all people's minds.
Yeah.
I think Trelane is the least consequential of the things. So let's get into that first.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of dreading ever since the rumors that he was Trelane popped up, because there's no way it makes any sense, and it still doesn't. I mean, Veronica, you can have a fan theory, but you're writing the episode for the writers. They just wanted to have Trelane in it. So I was kind of delighted to watch it, and like they never call him Trelane. They never see him. He's just dressed like Trelane. Then you have John Delancey show up as his father, and it's so like, wow, it's sort of, it could be just be taken as an homage to the other cosmic tricksters in Star Trek history, and you don't have to consider it Trelane and Q. And then immediately after the thing, I saw an interview with Akiva Goldsman where he was like, "Yep, Trelane is accused Trelane's father now. We've made it canon. You're welcome, Trekkies." And I'm like, "Could you just let it? Could you just let it be?"
Why? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, as soon as I heard John Delancey's voice, I was like, "Is this Q's son that was on the ship with Janeway?" I'm very confused now.
Oh yeah. So you know, I didn't watch the episode when it first came out because I wanted to only watch the first one because that was the one that we were going to talk about that night, and I watched the second episode later.
Right.
And I got spoiled on the Delancey thing.
Oh.
And but people were talking about it like Q was in the episode.
Right.
So, but I think what they, I mean, yeah, obviously now that Akiva has opened his yap, they obviously had a point to what they were doing. But when I watched it, I just took it as he's just providing a voice. It's not, they're not making a statement about the Q nature of Trelane or any of that stuff. It was just a fun thing. Well, now Akiva's done gone and ruined it.
Yeah, like just let it go. And that's not a new thing. I mean, the Q squared novel famously was a Trelane was a young Q, and in that one Q wasn't his father necessarily, but he was like, it was a thing Qs had to do where they had to sort of mentor younger Qs, and he was stuck with Trelane. And it's it was a fun book. I was like 13 when I read that book, and I loved it. So I'm not offended by the idea that Trelane is Q's father. I don't mind necessarily that they take sort of the Enterprise approach to continuity, where like you just don't say his name's Trelane, and then continuity's not broken, you know, like they did with the Ferengi. But
and the Borg.
It gets to you get Gorn, and then you've got Trelane, and I think next week's Klingons, and then Holodeck, and it's like Star Trek's greatest hits. Like I would love to see something strange and new.
Exactly. And you don't need to make a connection from everything to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Just let some things be what they are, you know? And the thing that they should be making a connection to is flipping Cybok, and they still won't get to it.
I know, right? What the heck?
I'm so angry about that.
That would be a great hijinks episode.
Yeah. So
I don't want it to be hijinks, though.
Do you think it's worth it to bring back Trelane, or should they have created their own cosmic trickster?
I mean,
I don't think better to do a cosmic trickster.
Okay.
But I don't think you could do that and people not say they're just ripping off Trelane.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, kind of the same way that they're like, when Q showed up, they're like, they're ripping off Trelane.
Yeah, that's true. Fans did say that in the 80s. But No, I mean, I guess it depends on how different the character was. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you had him, I mean, in this one, he's saying "tally ho" and wearing the Trelane coat, even though no one can see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
They
watching
made the
them back to back, they really don't sync up, but it's fine. They wanted to do their Trelane / Q, and they did. And I mean, like you said, I enjoyed Rhys Darby a lot. I thought he was really good in this.
He was. I thought he like made the episode.
And he had that youthful petulance that I think is appropriate for the character.
Yes. The poutiness and everything. I loved it. I was going to say the costume designers made the episode. He was like seconds right under them.
Right.
All right. Let me just get a couple of comments here. There's not too many rolling in at the moment, but Elaine says that she has loved Rhys ever since he was on Flight of the Conchords, which I have never watched. Shame on me. And Mark says, Trelane, you never let me have any fun.
Right.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving away from the Trelane thing for a minute, I thought that the music in this episode was really good. There was a lot of TOS style like music cues in the first one when Chapel shows up and says like he's my date or whatever, and then it has like the TOS style dun, 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 like something dramatic just happened. It was kind of funny.
That's true.
I will say she did not look that surprised when she saw Spock, because her face when she beamed in and when she said Spock was exactly the same. There was no surprise look. I thought at least.
I mean, I wonder if she just half expected it.
Sure. I mean, he does surf on the ship.
Well, yes, but she also told him, don't make some romantic gesture like waiting for me. I bet she like hoped he would do that, but expected that he would not do that.
Right. Okay. We want to get into Roger Corby. Veronica, do you have any opinions about Roger Corby?
Not overly. I have very little memory of what little girls are made of. I mean, I kind of remember it, but I don't really remember Roger Corby.
Yeah.
Beyond that, Nurse Chapel was infatuated with him,
and
she
beyond
said about Spock and was infatuated with him for a single episode.
And beyond that, he wasn't Irish.
He wasn't Irish. No, he was quite a bit older. And but they had been engaged. And I mean, I liked the actor playing him. He's just they're just doing their own version of the character with the same name. You know, but also the Roger Corby we met on the original series was an android. So we never actually met the real Roger Corby. So
yeah, that's a good point. Who knows how exact it was?
Yeah, he missed the accent entirely.
Although Christine would have commented on that. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm kind of glad they didn't go with the older Roger Corby. I think I've said this before, but it feels a little like she's hooking up with her older professor, as opposed to like a young, sexy professor, which I guess is better. You know, I don't know. It seems less creepy than if he was 50, you know, with gray hair.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I mean, I think that it's not an uncommon thing that people hook up with their older professors.
Okay.
I don't know, but she seems like in this version, she seems like she's very much the carefree kind of, you know, high-spirited person. And I think that she would fall for whomever she falls for. And it won't matter that it's young and sexy or whatever. She's going to connect on some other level. And the picture that they painted of them going on the mountaintop and him saying all the stuff and giving her the bracelets could have worked for anybody.
Right. Yeah.
So I wouldn't have been upset if they had gone a little older than what they did. But I still like the guy. I liked him. I don't know. I just didn't find him professorial.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah,
he's more too colleague-y, not student teacher.
He seemed more like a Indiana Jones type, but a more chill Indiana Jones type.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of archaeologist.
Yeah, more like rogue archaeologist than like college professor. And I grew to like him a lot more as the episode went on. And I liked the twist that he was the only one aware of what was happening. And it made him a lot more sympathetic, you know, with it, instead of just him being the other guy who's Chapel's brought on board. And now he's watching, you know, his girlfriend getting married to someone he knows she's not in love with. at least not in that way, or not supposed to be. Like he knows something weird has happened to her, and no one
Yeah.
knows it but him. And so I thought that made him a lot more sympathetic, and I liked his big bow tie at the end and his wreath of flowers he had to wear.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Although I thought the steps of trying to sabotage the wedding was a little
Odd.
I don't know. I didn't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I mean, I got it. I just don't think
Sure.
that was. I mean, if that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to derail the wedding, that's not the way to do it.
Right. Yeah.
It just didn't seem like it was thought out or effective.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, couple of
see that.
comments. Mark says, I thought Corby was significantly older than Christine. Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely. And Elaine says, I didn't really have any impressions, good or bad, with Corby, but that was a good twist, and he was not under Trelane's spell. Oh, and now Matt is chiming in saying, I like that Corby managed to make it clear that Chapel was with him now without being a jerk about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and I liked that the thing that snapped Spock out of it was the anger. It's the same thing that Kirk did to him in This Side of Paradise, was getting him angry, and that cast off the effects of the spores. And similarly here, it was him getting that angry with Roger that made him snap out of Trelane's little spell. But it didn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I wanted to talk a little bit about the little bachelor party. Because they had the lamest little bachelor party for Spock.
What do you do for a Vulcan?
I know, karaoke apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was interesting, and this is probably going too nerd, but and one of the foods that he made Spock's favorite foods, and one of them was a giant Vulcan mollusk. And I know that like in Quarks, like giant Vulcan mollusks have been referenced, but I mean, you can sell a Vulcan mollusk without Vulcans eating it. I know Vulcans don't like to eat the flesh of animals, so I'm wondering if do mollusks not count to Vulcans as animals? Do they just eat mollusks? And like we've seen Spock like eat like beef and pork, and be repulsed by it or not repulsed by it as he was in the bacon episode. But I mean, can he eat like chicken? Can Spock have like pollo fundido or something? Or is it just plants and mollusks? I'm curious. Like a shellfish don't count as the flesh of animals.
Well, maybe they're
I
don't know.
because they're insects. They're the insects of the sea.
Okay, so insects don't count as the flesh of animals.
Maybe they're pescatarian.
Okay, so he can eat fish.
Not
he
Presbyterian.
He's Presbyterian. I'm just curious because they just sort of threw in the mollusk thing in there, and I was like, well, that's an interesting thing for Spock. One of Spock's favorites is, and I don't know, no one has any opinions about this but me.
No, I didn't catch that at all. And
okay,
I don't think if I had, it would have stuck out to me in any way.
Okay,
sorry.
All right, just me then.
Yeah,
because Vulcans are vegetarians is the thing. Okay,
sure, I get it.
Okay,
but I just didn't even think about it.
Okay, and none of us here are vegan or anything, so none of us can chime in on if they can eat giant mollusks.
Right, but I think if it had been T'Pol, it would have stuck out to me because they made a bigger deal about T'Pol being vegetarian and about Vulcans being vegetarian through her than I ever really have any memory of it happening with Spock.
Yeah, the big one with Spock was in All Our Yesterdays when he was he's like, I ate the flesh of an animal and I liked it. And, because he was regressing when he was back in time.
Right.
And then they made a big deal on Strange New Worlds last year that he was eating bacon for the first time and made himself sick. So I don't know. It just occurred to me that Vulcans eat mollusks. And I was just curious if that, I don't know.
Maybe
I just thought it was strange.
Maybe Vulcans make their bacon out of mollusks.
Maybe Vulcan mollusk bacon.
So in relation to the bachelor party, Scotty being like, no, I don't really drink. And then immediately like drinking.
Now we're going to see Scotty become an alcoholic on Strange New Worlds.
Like, really? Really? That's what you're going to do? Like, drag that out further, at least, if you're going to do that. Don't like mention it as an offhand comment and he immediately
I like
pours himself shot after shot.
The prequel Scotty stuff better last week or 3 days ago, whenever it was. Last episode when he was sort of learning to be Scotty from Pelia, than just throwing in the I don't drink and then I'll try a sip of alcohol for the first time and then he's an alcoholic 5 years later.
Yeah. So that was the other thing I was going to say in my phone message that I really enjoyed was the Pelia tricking Scotty last week.
Yes. Yes.
Into that. That was a very ADHD thing, because a lot of ADHD people are like, meh, I don't know what to do. And then someone's like, here's all the pressure. And then you're like, here it is.
Okay, that's
exactly
a good point.
what I did.
We definitely talked about that moment last week, or last
so good.
show, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Elaine has an interesting point. Maybe the mollusk thing was a misstep on Trelane's part, since the whole bachelor party was his doing.
Okay.
That's a good idea. He got a detail wrong.
I'll take it.
Sure, I'll take it. Makes sense
Now I
to
can
me.
sleep at night. Thank you, Elaine.
Oh my gosh, he's lost 3 days of sleep over this.
I know, right? Okay. I mean, that aside, I think that they should have worked harder to give Spock a better bachelor party.
Yes.
At least Worf's bachelor party was interesting when they're being beaten with clubs and stuff.
That's true.
Like, there's no Vulcan equivalent of a bachelor party. You just got to go to an
Probably not.
awkward party at his boss's house.
No, they like they walk in stoically and touch fingers and you're done.
Okay.
I'm assuming. I don't
Sure, why
know.
not?
I don't know that we've actually seen a Vulcan wedding.
We have.
We have?
Mhm.
Yes. In a muck time.
That's right. The whole
Famously.
episode was about that.
But I thought that was no, but I thought that was because she didn't want Spock, so she was trying to get rid of Spock.
But it started off as a wedding, and that's how Vulcan weddings go. They get married unless she chooses the challenge. That's why even Trelane threw out there, unless we have a Caliphie situation.
Yeah.
Because the Kunut Caliphie was the marriage or challenge. And I guess often they'll choose marriage, but sometimes they choose challenge. And
okay, but we didn't see a usual Vulcan wedding.
No,
where
because
there's not a challenge.
But I would have liked if T'Pring showed up and there was a Caliphie.
Right?
That would be a much more
that would have been
episode.
so much better. I was waiting for like her to come up at
maybe a little shades of Tasha Yar, but I didn't think it was interesting that T'Pring wasn't even mentioned in this.
Not once.
Even though it's a fantasy, he's got a fiance out there somewhere.
That's a great point. And I was thinking, are we even going to get T'Pring this season? I'd be okay if we didn't. I don't need it.
I don't need it either, but I do like that actress who plays T'Pring.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But I don't need the character to come back just because of that.
Right.
She can come back as a different character.
Okay.
Totally different.
I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are we done with that?
Bachelor party?
Sure.
Bachelor party?
Can you go on the mollusk thing again?
Sure, let's do it.
No, go ahead. What were you going to segue into?
Oh, hang on. There's another comment. Let me see what we're talking about now. Matt says, oh, wait, there's 2. Hang on. Eric Watt says, just got here. Sorry I'm late. It's all right. We forgive you. Excuse me if this has already been addressed, but was anyone besides me upset that there was no mention of T'Pring? We just said that.
Like
Anywhere
probably
during
2
the
seconds
episode.
before you logged in, Eric.
Right.
We literally just said that. That's hilarious.
Because
Perfect timing.
Spock,
Thank you. That's awesome.
Isn't Spock still technically betrothed to her?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We were definitely noticing that.
Yeah, I felt like that should at least have been mentioned in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Matt says, Chapel versus T'Pring. I'll make the popcorn.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Wayne says, yeah, when Spock started emoting, that threw me for a loop. However, it's snapping him out of Trelane's influence straightened it out for me.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that the abrupt punch was a little bit much.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's trailer bait and it's for the reaction,
yeah.
But also, like you say, he was under the influence of Trelane at the time, and so you can sort of excuse that. Yeah, I mean, segueing back into the characters themselves. I mean, I kind of thought that the Spock and Chapel thing was done at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of hoping like this is the button on it, and they're going to move forward from here now, and it's not going to be more mopey Spock.
You're not a screenwriter, are you, Chuck?
I have been amateur.
I know you. I know, and I'm being facetious completely. Okay. Because that just does not seem the way that this show would go.
Right.
They're going to milk that stupid situation. As long as she's still seeing Corby, they're going to milk it.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping that Spock and Corby have sort of made their peace, though. And
maybe so.
Yeah, and it won't be like a love triangle.
No, I think it'll be more like a mooning Spock for a while, probably.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't ever need any of that in any show that I watch. So you know, especially my Star Treks and my Doctor Who's and those things. I just don't
I'll
want
take
it.
more of him dancing with La'an. I think
Yeah.
They
good.
did seem like they're developing a rapport
Yeah.
that I hadn't
Yes.
in previous episodes.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah. Particularly when they ended the episode with them dancing together, or not ended it, but ended that little section of the episode with them dancing together.
Yeah.
Do the jitterbug. Do the jitterbug. Okay.
When I was a kid, we had a Casio keyboard that played that. But we know Wham makes it into the 23rd century.
Wham, Beastie Boys, and whom else? Anyway,
it's like that that bit in Star Trek 4 when he's naming those like trashy novels, and he's like, ah, yes, the giants, like the greats of literature of the era.
Not wrong.
right.
Well, we want to get into the Adosian bartender.
Yeah.
Oh
We
my
finally got
gosh.
our on-screen Adosian.
Without a doubt. I want to know, and I have a suspicion that was not trickery. I think that was an arm double, or maybe an arm triple, I should say.
Yes.
I don't think that was like CGI'd or anything
Right.
like that. I think that was practically done, and I think that was a person stashed behind her
Mhm.
doing the third arm, and I
with like
love that.
with mostly green morph suit or something.
Yeah, and it's pretty
Yeah.
smart because they moved the
Right.
third arm to her back instead of her front, which is considerably
Yes.
more difficult to pull off. And so
Yes.
you can have someone just reaching around and doing things, and it gets. I mean, I thought it worked very well.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
And looks like we'll be seeing more of her.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird scene though. It was like
know.
Pike and Chapel were like cruising the bartender. Like, they were like an older couple at the bar. Like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Come on our ship with us. I was like, well, okay,
Do you see those number of arms? Oh.
right. But I thought she looked great
Yeah.
and was kind of that's a great idea for a bartender.
Mhm.
You can do the cocktail thing times
Yeah.
0.33, I guess, because there's an extra arm.
But I'll tell you, if she's going to show up again on the show, because she's now going to be serving on the ship, I want to see her not behind the bar.
Mm.
I want to see the full number of legs and the full number of arms, and I want to see her walk, and I want to see the whole thing. I'm ready.
Okay.
Bring it. Because, you know, I love me an Adosian.
Yeah.
Love them.
Me too. I was excited enough when they showed up in animated form on Lower Decks.
Me too.
But to get a live action one's great. And I think, like I said, it's a pretty clever way to do it, because it'd be considerably more expensive to have the arm coming out of her middle of her chest than reaching around.
Yes.
But I think it still gets the point across, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought the whole episode, I sort of liked the little world of the episode. They get on my nerves by continually like going back to home base. Like this Enterprise goes back to home base more than probably any other. I'm not any other ship, because Defiant went back to the DS9 all the time. But as far as going back to the Earth system, the Enterprises don't usually do that. But that said, I like the fact that it was set during the centenary, so it gives you an idea. Like this is 2261. It's about 5 years before the original series. Also, sort of continuing to build the little mythology of Star Trek that they're celebrating, this sort of thing. I know. I thought that the episode was just fun. It's like a little homey episode, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was disappointed that there weren't any Andorians in the like crowd.
Okay.
There were not any
There were
Jacob-
two.
There were Tellarites.
Tellarites.
Well, there were Bolians.
There were Bolians,
No,
but
there were two Andorians.
Oh, you're right, because I remember noticing their
In
oh
their
yeah,
dance
they
place.
had the little furry thing. That's
Yeah.
right. I do
Yes,
remember
in
that
the
now.
dance scene, Sam is dancing with two of them, and they have a very particular
right.
weird dance
Yeah.
that Sam obviously knows how to do. And I love that scene so much.
Yeah, and I noticed that their outfits were inspired by the original Andorian outfits, which we have one. Well, not an original one, but we have one. It was made for a fan film. But also, there are a few Tellarites here and there, a couple of Bolians, that one person with no mouth that Trelane took a liking to.
Yeah. It was very Journey to Babel kind of thing.
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing more of that kind of thing. I wouldn't mind seeing another Journey to Babel kind of episode, but this
one with political intrigue instead of a rom-com.
Yes, that's what I want.
Yes.
Matt says, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No,
Matt says, I was hoping to have a mention or images of Archer during the centennial. That would have been sweet.
Yeah, but
sorry.
technically they moved from a wedding to a dance party, so they weren't really celebrating doing the official centennial at that point.
Yeah.
I will say, we've talked last week and once before, maybe twice before, about things that they seem to do intentionally to undermine Pike's character. I don't think any starship captain, but especially Pike, would ever, when a wedding falls apart, get up in front of those people and stammer like he did and not know what to say and just sounded stupid.
Yes.
They like to make him awkward, which is it seems like it's so against type for Anson Mount. It was like in that season 1 episode when that lady came on the ship that he had a crush on in the past or whatever. And he was like, really, like, you're trying to make me believe that Anson Mount is awkward with women. It's hard to buy. But they like to make him sort of like, I guess they're sort of playing against type, like where he's not Captain Kirk and he's sort of awkward and stammery and has trouble making decisions.
He's the nerd.
But you can do that, but not without undermining his character.
Right.
Look, we get that scene at the end of the previous episode where he starts the prayer. And we saw that, in Discovery when he had in New Eden, the second episode that he was in, where they have the whole like science versus religion kind of debate. Right. And that's a way that you can do it. That is a way of making him distinct from Kirk.
Yeah,
but this is just not it. I don't think anybody could have got to, because normally it would be the captain that's officiating the wedding. I don't know. I just don't see him as being that unsure of himself and that awkward. And it's aggravated me.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's something that doesn't really feel natural for Anson Mount.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric says, what was the significance of Trelane's reflection appearing Vulcan and Andorian at 2 different times? Because that's what the characters were seeing.
Yes, and I think the Vulcan was to make Spock feel more comfortable, and the Andorian was because he could.
Yeah, I think in the story, he was just playing different characters in this scenario and sort of moving around. But I think in the real world, they were sort of avoiding the continuity problem of everybody meeting Trelane 5 years early. By saying that, oh, no, they never saw Trelane. See, they saw an Andorian and they saw a Vulcan. And so,
plus, every time he's on screen, you have to send him to makeup and get a new application done. That takes time and money.
True. Yeah, that's true. And you don't want to cast Rhys Darby and then put him in heavy makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
true
because he's a recognizable guy.
Yeah. Of course, do you want him to be recognizable?
I don't know. I think casting Rhys Darby, I want to have his face on the screen.
Yeah.
Especially after that, Our Flag Means Death. I think he has got his cachet is risen. He's not a huge star or anything, but he's known.
But you're like,
especially in nerd circles.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, without a doubt. Okay, so let's talk about the little situation with Erica and Beto and Uhura.
Okay.
Because I am really enjoying this. I don't give a shit about love triangles and all that stupid crap and brother and sister dynamics and all that stuff. But I think that Uhura and Beto are super cute together.
They're so cute.
And
they're so cute. And how much it upsets Erica is hilarious.
Yes, exactly. And I think he's adorable. And I think I feel like what we're getting this season is Uhura is really like coming into herself. Like she is coming out of that shell that she had been in, certainly in the first season. And we started to see a little bit of, outside of that in the second season. And I think that she has really, really grown into being an individual. She's not under anyone else's shadow anymore. And she's herself. And I think that this is a way of showing that she is now moving into a new phase in her life. Not only it's the hair, it's the flirtiness, it's the outfits. I'm really, really excited about seeing more of this Uhura.
Yes.
Yeah, because her storyline in the Lower Decks crossover episode was that she's too serious, doesn't know how to take a break. So to see her having grown, not she literally let her hair down and having some fun, I think is a great evolution of that character. And we saw that part of that in Subspace Rhapsody, where she was sort of coming out of her shell. But I think it works very well for her character. And I thought that the dynamic between Ortegas and her brother was really fun and cute. Where they're punching each other and stuff like that. The only thing about it that made me roll my eyes was when he came up to her at the end and he was like, Starfleet has greenlit a full documentary. And I was like, we're getting a documentary episode, aren't we?
We are, because episode 7, I think it is called What is Starfleet?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that is the documentary episode.
You don't sound as disappointed as I do.
No, it means that we're going to see Beto back on screen again. So
that's true. No, he might be behind the camera.
No, we'll see him.
Good. And I like their dynamic. I would like to see more of him.
Yeah. And okay, so where I was going to head with this, Mark has just put in our comments. He says the part of the episode that really hit me hard was the last 30 seconds with Ortegas and her PTSD.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Agreed.
Right.
I think we might finally be getting an Erica-centric plot line.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, we got that on Discovery Season 3 with Detmer.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I mean, that played out over a 5-episode arc, and then it was nothing after that.
Right.
Yeah.
But what we got during those 5 episodes was so good for her character, for the actor, for the show. I thought it was great that we actually got some focus put on somebody that's not one of the, the main 4 or 5 that get top billing in the episode, that somebody else got a significant storyline. I really want to see, I've been waiting all this time for a good Erica storyline, and we might be about to get it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. It may also mean that we're not quite done with the Gorn.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Because we had talked about how putting the Gorn to sleep might be putting them away until Arena. And I mean, that there's still some Gorn, because they mentioned the Gorn a few times in this episode, and then we saw one in the mirror. So, which I still think the Gorn with their little bitty heads, little puppet heads, looks sillier than the original Gorn. But I'll try to stay off that soapbox this week. But no, I'll be thrilled if we can finally get a solid Ortegas episode that focuses on her. And I love that we're fleshing her out some, meeting some family members and that sort of thing. And I hope to see more of that,
definitely.
Especially because Beto is not someone who's ever been on Star Trek before. So it's kind of nice to have someone who's never been on Star Trek before.
Right. Thank God we have an original character on this show.
Right.
In addition to
characters, that new nurse that they're apparently keeping
What was up with the cutesy nurse?
Yeah, I didn't get
There
that.
was a big highlight on that nurse early in this episode.
Yeah.
And he was hanging out with the bridge crew.
Yeah, I mean, he was there for the 3 months that Christine was gone. He was her fill-in, and now he's going to be made crew member. What's the point of that?
I know, it's like,
what are you going to do with him?
Oh, you're the nurse we all love, and I'm like, do we?
Right, exactly. I thought that was such a weird flex.
Yeah.
Yes.
The actor was fine. I don't have any problem.
Oh, sure. I thought he was great. I really enjoyed him.
And I always like when there's more medical staff, because Star Trek shows are kind of notorious for there being very few medical officers.
Right.
Voyager and Enterprise, I think, both had one each, and there's not even a nurse.
Yeah.
So yeah, and hopefully he'll have an ongoing storyline with Chapel now that when she comes back to sickbay. Hopefully this is building towards something. It felt a little out of left field in this episode.
Yes.
Totally.
Particularly for being really the only thing that number 1 had to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she didn't do much the rest of the episode.
Nope. She sure didn't.
Flirt with that Adosian.
Right. Hey, 3 arms.
Right.
Okay. Elaine said, I like the new nurse, and I think he may fit in well with the rest of the crew. I agree.
I agree. It was just very abrupt. Like, everyone loves you so much.
But I mean, part of that is that we've got a 3-month jump in time, and stuff like that is going to happen, And, when we heard before the season started that there was going to be a time jump in the season, I was like, that's going to be the 3 months that Christine is away.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do episodes without her. So episode 1 is going to end. 3 months later is episode 2.
Right.
And Mark says, I want my Starfleet medical show.
Heck
Dude, I've been saying that for years.
Mm-hmm.
I want it so much.
Heck yeah.
Whether it's a station, whether it's a hospital ship, I don't care. Do something with that concept. I want that so badly.
Yeah, that'd be a fun.
The normals would watch that.
Maybe.
Right.
Well, okay, maybe if it wasn't like behind a paywall, but still.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
we're coming up on an hour. We got 10 minutes left. That's
we're getting
crazy.
there. Anybody have what do we miss? Any final thoughts about this episode that we've not gone into?
There has to be something that we missed. Viewers, comment and let us know what we haven't talked about yet, because there's got to be something.
Yeah, we have just a few minutes left. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's not my favorite type of episode they do, but I always tend to enjoy these. They're kind of there's like a homey episode. It's like a just watch Star Trek this week. But Spock did remind me a lot of Odo. And like I said, rom-com Spock and rom-com Odo are not my favorite versions of those characters, but it's not out of left field, I guess, for Star Trek.
So, okay, something I really liked about Spock at the beginning when he was talking with La'an and they were dancing, he was like, it would be very unfortunate if your heart was not in your chest.
Yeah.
But he said it as a joke.
I know.
Yeah, which was good.
And La'an was like, well, no, not actually literally out of your chest, but and then she realized he was making a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was that
that's very Spocky.
Hilarious. Yes.
I'm looking forward to him growing to be more Spocky, and I'm hoping that maybe Layla Kalomi will show up, and because the whole thing with Layla Kalomi was that when 5 years ago when I knew you couldn't have a relationship with me or whatever, like he wouldn't let himself do it. So maybe this is bouncing off of this Chapel thing. Is maybe that's going to feed into the Layla Kalomi storyline. Anybody from the original series is fair game. That White Rabbit could show up. Who knows?
That's true. Oh my gosh. I'm ready for new Star Trek though.
Yeah.
I love this show. I really, really do. But I just feel like, and maybe I don't know. I don't know if it's this season feels like they're just overloading the continuity connections, and I just don't need all that.
Yeah.
I know it's not just this season because they did a lot last year too. But.
Yeah, it used to feel like a cover band, where they're just playing the hits and they're just going through the Star Trek motions.
Right.
This week it's the Gorn, and then it's Trelane and Q and Roger Corby, and then next week it's the Klingons, and then next week it's a holodeck episode.
I really like the Fab Four.
So do I, but I don't want Star Trek to be a cover band of Star Trek. I would like for them to come up with their own unique characters, and we could all be saying like, "Oh, I really like the trickster character that showed up on Strange New Worlds that time," and not debating of which episode takes place first, Wire of Gothos or Wedding Bell Blues.
Yeah.
So that's like saying the Fab Four versus the Lemon Twigs.
Okay, but I would like them to be more popular than the Lemon Twigs.
Okay.
Wow.
Rude.
Anyway. Yeah, I would like for a new series. Maybe we'll get that. I don't think we will, but maybe we'll get that with Starfleet Academy. Maybe we'll get something that, even though we have some returning characters as faculty, I think that's a good way to do that kind of thing, where the focus is going to be on new characters, and you have a couple of legacy characters forming the faculty of the show. And I think that's good. And I want them to do new stuff with something. I don't know. I just,
it's a drum we've been beating for a while that this era of Star Trek since 2017 hasn't created one new memorable antagonist alien race. There's no new Borg
or antagonist period, whether it's a race or not,
or new Dominion or new, you know what I mean? Like they haven't created their thing that's sort of signature to this era for any of the shows. It's always, hey, remember this? Hey, remember that? Hey, remember this? And we're always talking about, are the Breen better now or worse now? Are the Gorn better now or worse now? Are the Klingons better now or worse now?
But they almost did it with Angel. That was right there. That was the potential to do something new and interesting. But A, Angel was tied to Cybok.
Right.
And B, Angel's never been back.
Right.
So they had their opportunity right there. They did something and they didn't do anything with it. They didn't further it in any way. Now, for the people watching and for the people who are listening on the podcast after our live show, I love Strange New Worlds. I'm not being, negative just for the sake of being negative. I love this show. It just frustrates me sometimes. I love the characters. I love the cast. I love everything about it. I just wish they were doing more original stuff and less with the, connecting to the past / future.
Yeah. I wish there were more Strange New Worlds. in the show.
That too.
Or even not even worlds, just things that are strange and new. And I don't
Yeah.
mind mining Star Trek lore, but
Nope.
I mean, balance it out with doing your own original creations as well.
Yeah. So we have some Klingons next week, and that looks like an interesting episode, I think.
Yeah. Like Klingon zombies, it looks fun, and it looks it's
Sure.
probably delving more into Mbenga's past, and
Yes.
letting him get a little more hardcore. They seem to sort of, Mbenga sort of stands around until it's his highlight episode, and then you find out that he's got a kid, or he was a secret ninja assassin, or whatever the case may be.
Right. And then we have, I guess, the murder mystery episode is number 4.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. I don't need hijinks every other episode.
Yeah.
That seems like what they're doing.
Exactly. But what they've done has been good. I've enjoyed them all.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this one a lot. I know I'm going to enjoy the murder mystery episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just wish it wasn't every other one when you only have 10 episodes. But we've beat that drum before too. So I don't need to get onto that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would like more like at Astra Prospera. Like by this time last season, we had that episode, and that really felt rooted in the characters and the storylines that are going on in the show. So I hope to get more of that, more exploration of the characters. I mean, beyond their romances, and I'm hoping we're going to get more of that. But also throw a Strange New World in there, because so far we're 0 for 2.
Right. Yep. Ship-based episodes are fine, but I need to get on a planet.
Right.
And a new planet. Let's say that.
Right. All right, Alan, where can people find more of you?
CosmicCreative.com. KOZMIC creative.com. We over on one of my other podcasts, Modern Musicology, we just recorded a week ago. We put out an episode celebrating the 40th anniversary of Live Aid, and that episode has been doing really well. It's basically surpassed the last 2 months of episodes that we've done. It's like already only been out for a week, and it's performed better than all of those, but not put together. But with last night, we just recorded we actually recorded both parts of our 1985 episodes. So that's going to be coming out this coming Sunday and the Sunday after that, where we talk about all the music released in 1985.
Awesome.
And we had a lot of fun doing that. And those episodes always do really well for us. So I can't wait to get that one out. And man, were we silly in that episode.
That's my birthday or year.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, Veronica, where can people find more of us?
Feltnerdy.com.
And we've got, if you're in the Atlanta area, we've got a couple of library shows coming up this Saturday. The 26th. We'll be appearing at the Alpharetta Library at 11 a.m. and the Northside Library at 3 p.m.
Cool.
And those will be all ages, family-friendly shows. And we'll be doing puppet paper bag crafts after it. We'll have a good time. So follow us at feltnerdy.com or feltnerdy across social media, or feltnerdy and dirty. And then after that, we'll be getting ready for Dragon Con, because we're doing 4 shows or 5 shows this year of our own at Dragon Con, plus the Slam. We're all over the place at Dragon Con. You counting?
Plus
4 shows plus the Slam.
Okay.
4 shows plus the Slam, plus Subspace Rhapsody.
Yes.
Right? That's true.
Which is not a Felt Nerdy thing, but it is a Veronica thing.
That's true.
Same thing.
Yeah. And where else can people find us?
Monkeying Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
That's right. We've just come back from a little hiatus. We had a couple of months with no episode, but now the second part of our Dino Kovas episode, Dino from the New Monkeys, has dropped, and we've got a couple of episodes in the can. So we're picking up speed on Monkeying Around again. So follow monkeyingaround.com or Monkeying Around on your favorite podcast platform. And Veronica, do you have a closing for us this week?
I don't know why every week I forget this.
I mean, Trelane was in it. You can say tally ho.
Tally ho.
There you go.
Perfect.
Join us live on Thursday evenings. We'll go live at 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays, talking about the latest Star Trek episode. Next week will be Strange New Worlds.
All right. Everybody have a great couple of days. We'll see you Thursday.